Hey everybody, it's Tallara and welcome back to Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition. This is my very first blind playthrough of Xenoblade Chronicles X, and I'm so glad that it finally came to the Nintendo Switch to give me an opportunity to experience it for the first time. So far, I am having an absolute blast. On our last episode, we finished Chapter 3, which was essentially the end of a very long, drawn-out tutorial, meaning the game really opens up from here on out. The last thing we did in terms of a main story is we were sent out to investigate a missing squad of people. Nelson's group was lost, and we followed them up into the mountains to find that they had been completely obliterated by hostile Xenos. That's right, there are hostile aliens on this planet, and they are out to kill humans. Luckily, there was one positive to the situation. We met this little guy, this little potato. That's right, this is a Nopon named Tatsu, who is a friendly Xeno, and gives us some hope that maybe not all aliens want to kill us. So as you can see, if you come up here to the story, in order to progress to Chapter 4, there's actually a few requirements. We can't just go right from Chapter 3 to Chapter 4. The game is basically forcing us to explore a little bit, which honestly, I'm all for. So in order to start Chapter 4, where it's recommended that we get to level 15, we need to survey 15% of Primordia and complete the Professional mission, which is found on the Blade Concourse in the Administrative District. So, we know what we've got to do. We've got our squad together. Let's head outside and really start to explore this world. Okay, already I'm like overwhelmed by the amount of stuff that's out here. We've got terminals to access, people to talk to, affinity missions to undertake. Although in this particular instance, doesn't look like we have the required things that we need. You can pick up little tidbits of information all around. You can speak to people. And then who do we have up here? I left some supplies near the probe placement site in segment 314 on the FrontierNav maps. If you ever run into trouble, feel free to use them. Okay, so it looks like you can stumble across basically pieces of information when you go up to people with a yellow bubble over their head. That's kind of interesting. We've got Sorelia, we've got Sadie. Oh my god, there's so many people. Alright, well, before I get completely overwhelmed with how much is being presented to me right now in terms of side quests and things to do, how about we just head over to the mission control board? We've got a guy here named Wolf who we can talk to. Hey Wolf, how do we overwhelm our foes? If that's your goal, you want to topple them. You'll never miss a toppled foe, and the effect is obscenely powerful. But to set up a topple, you first gotta stagger your foe. Now, shut your yap hole and remember this. Once a foe has been staggered, if you then hit them with an art that has the topple effect, you'll always topple them. Nice, right? But an even more powerful way to control your foes is with the Skell's Bind maneuver. They may actually let you pilot a Skell one day, so in anticipation of that, remember my words. And it could be a while, so write it down. Follow a stagger with a topple, and if you're into Skell, it's stagger into bind. Okay, Wolf, noted. I'll try my best not to forget that. Alright, so this is mission control, and then this is Eleonora. So let's speak with her. Hey, Eleonora. I'm a full member of Blade now. How about some missions?
Well...
Welcome back, Tallara. Have you become accustomed to blade work? If you've gained confidence in your abilities, perhaps this would be a good time to challenge yourself by paying a visit to Noctulum, far northwest of New LA. We've yet to make any significant progress installing data probes in that region, and expanding FrontierNav may allow us to witness some significant developments. But of course, if you don't believe you're ready for that yet, you can continue to acclimate yourself to blade work by pursuing jobs for mission control. Okay, I mean, I thought that sounded pretty good, actually. I was ready to be like, yeah, I'll go do that. While we're here, we can also check in with Eleonora personally. Hey, Eleonora, is anything troubling you?
Wow.
Are you worried about me? Oh, thank you. I'm touched by the concern, but I'm fine, really. Maybe it would be better if you posed that same question to the people of New LA. I'm sure there are many who are troubled by something, but don't consider it significant enough to make a formal request of Blade. So what you're saying is I should go around and ask everybody if they're okay. Got it. Alright, I guess since we're here, we'll also check out mission control. So here is where we get a whole bunch of quests. Holy moly. Literally so many different quests. From bounties to gathering to social, a lot of different types of quests, lots of variety. How about we go with the very first one here, who's from a familiar face, a familiar mustached face, Vandam. It's called New Orders, and it says, go to the barracks briefing room for the details. No, go forgetting on me. Alright, that seems like a fairly easy one that we can do. How about we go right to the barracks and check in with Vandam to complete our first official quest as a member of Blade. I mean, I suppose we've completed quests before, but these are the first quests that we've taken the initiative to go and pick up ourselves, so it feels a little different. Now, where is Vandam in here is the real question. I mean, he should be easy to spot by his giant mustache. He's in here somewhere. Here's the network console. That's how you go out on a mission. Oh, Vandam, where are you hiding? Here's our little mess hall. I mean, it's honestly nice to just explore the quarters as well. Looks like at some point this might be where we'll dock skills. No, this says something about holo figures. Holographic figures can be displayed in a gallery within the Blade Barracks. You can obtain them as rewards for certain missions or salvage them from certain enemies. So this is like some sort of gallery. Interesting. We don't have anything right now, but we'll keep in mind if we find holo figures, we can essentially decorate our base with them. And here we can change the time of day, which I'm sure could potentially come in handy depending on the type of quest we're on, if we're hunting certain monsters, etc. Back here's a big hangar bay. This has got to be where the skells are kept. Oh, I can't wait to have a skell one of these days. Now, Vandam! Where are you? I feel like we've explored every inch of this place and Mr. Mustache isn't even here. Let me check the quest text again. Go to missions. Go to the barracks briefing room for the details. Oh, we just have to interact with that table. Well, I feel dumb. Alright. And then you can also track it, yes, and then we get a big arrow on our mini-map and a big flashing icon. That's what I needed. I see. Alright. So if we go here... it's just giving me the story mission, though. I guess maybe the story mission is the quest that it's pointing me towards. Well, now I feel a little dumb. If that's the case, I suppose it's not something we can pick up for right now, so, let's get back to what we were doing, shall we? Alright, back out on the main street. I saw someone down here named Kirsty before who has a big question mark over her head. I can only presume that means she has a quest for us. So now seems like a good time to chat with her. Hello, Kirsty. She looks like a very important business lady. I love the pantsuit. I love the sunglasses. Kirsty looks like a girl you don't want to mess with. It's Tallara, right? Yes, ma'am. Oh, good. I've been looking for you. The name's Kirsty, with a K. I'm the operations manager for FrontierNav. Nagy requested that I brief you on the whole FrontierNav deal. Sound good? Sure. Yeah, tell me about it. Excellent. I like your curiosity. Always remember that FrontierNav connects us to the land. Before we continue listening to Kirsty, I just wanted to comment. Clearly our decisions in conversation impact our party's members' affinity. You can see there when I nodded to Kirsty and said I wanted to learn more about FrontierNav, all of my party members liked that as the little heart appeared over their heads, so that's kind of interesting. Alright, she says, like the rest of Mira, it takes dedication and curiosity to really understand. So then, first lesson. There are several different types of data probes that can be installed at FrontierNav probe placement sites. It's vital that you keep the desired application in mind, because each type of probe yields different effects. What's more, placing the exact same type and grade of data probe in neighboring sites will amplify the effects of each probe. Now, I could stand here and make you listen to a long, drawn-out explanation, but I think it's better if you just try out each one for yourself. Alright, so we've got a new mission called the Probefessional. I like that. We need to learn about FrontierNav from Kirsty. We can do that. I accept. And we will track it in our mission panel. Remember the data probe you installed out on the East Gate plane? I do, yes. Good, I can see why you're on Nagi's shortlist. So if you ever need to verify its exact location, just access the segment map with your comm device. I'll point out a pair of placement sites in the planes past the East Gate that you can chain together on the FrontierNav grid. Head there and install a data probe at each site, okay? But I don't want just any probes installed there. You'll need to change them to be the same type. That's how you get the chain amplification effect. You can swap around data probes using your comm device. Just select the corresponding site on the FrontierNav map. If you select swap data probe, you can take your pick from all the unused probes you've got. You do have unused probes, right? Here, take a few mining probes just in case. They're on me, but don't go spreading tales of my generosity. Your assignment is to travel to the 2 specified sites and install data probes there. Then make sure all 3 of your installed probes are set as mining probes. You'll figure it out. It's all much clearer in action. Alright, so by going to the main menu, map, and then FrontierNav, we can check the status of data probes currently installed at FN sites across Mira, as well as swap installed probes around. Okay, so I guess the first thing we want to do then is go to our map and check that out. So it says open FrontierNav often, and then place those data probes. Variety is the spice of probes. Data probes come in many flavors, each with different effects and capabilities. You can swap them out at any time. Alright, so let's switch to our FrontierNav screen, and you can see this is the probe we placed before at FN Site 116. It's a basic probe, which has 50% production ability and 50% revenue ability. The first data probe model to be installed at a FrontierNav probe site mines precious resources in the same way as a mining probe, but cannot be linked to a combo with other probes. So what we need to do, if I understand it correctly, is we need to swap this data probe for one of these mining probes. We've got mining probe G1 and G2, a research probe, and a storage probe. Interesting. So we'll start off by switching it to a mining probe, which mines precious resources and uranium. The amount mined depends on both the grade of the probe and the output of the FrontierNav probe site. Alright, so swapping did cost us money. It cost us $1,000, but other than that, it looks like we can sort of swap at will. So now, FN116 has a mining probe. And that means we'll now need to go plant the other probes that Kirsty wants. Alright, we're heading back out through the east gate, and then it looks like we need to cut north to get to the first of the probe sites that Kirsty wanted us to investigate. Luckily, since I'm tracking the quest, we've got that big green exclamation point right there, which hopefully will make it easier for me to follow. But we're going back out in the wilds. It's been a while, and I am excited to get back at it. Alright, so if we cut straight north, let's see what we'll come across. We've got lots of monsters, including this nocturnal Vesper, which really wants to fight. Little do they know they are extremely under-leveled for this. They're only level 5, and we're all level 10, so... This is our first time getting to bring Arena out in our party as well, because we've got Lynn and Elma, who were accompanying us on our adventures earlier, but Arena has now also joined us. She's actually level 14. She's even a higher level than we are. And the most exciting thing about Arena is that it seems that she's a healer, so she should hopefully support us nicely, because it seems like basically we've got a 2 DPS, 1 tank, 1 healer setup, which is always really nice if you're into RPGs. You love that setup. Alright. Can't go that way because there's too many rocks, but what we can do is go around this way and take out some more nocturnal Vespers. They're only level 7, so they don't really give us much of a challenge, but hey, sometimes it's good to just farm XP and see what you get. There goes one. We're coming to you. Someone commented on the previous video and mentioned that the combat in Xenoblade Chronicles X feels a lot snappier than it does in the numbered Xenoblade Chronicles titles. And I completely agree with that assessment. Snappier, faster, those are all words I'd use to describe the combat in the game so far, and I really like it.
Nobody else is dying on my watch.
Nobody's dying today, don't you worry. Alright. That was worth it. We got some good equipment there. We got a skill rank up. Guess those little monsters were worth fighting after all. Alright, I was trying to kind of like hug these cliffs here, but it looks like they're really making an imposing barrier, so We're gonna have to go around a little bit. I think we're getting closer to the spot that we're trying to access, though. Have you seen the wrecked vehicle just outside New LA's East Gate? That belonged to a friend of mine. I don't know who said that, but, dang, what happened to your friend? There's someone named Nathan. Hello, Nathan. I will chat with you in a minute. I want to not get overwhelmed with too many quests. The perils of open world RPGs is you pick up one quest, and before you know it, you've picked up another and another and another, and you can't remember what you're doing, so I'm going to try to be a bit more methodical. We'll turn in this quest first. We know exactly where Nathan is. We can go pick up that quest again after. How about that? On the way, there is something real big there. It is level 13, and it's got quite an interesting, name bar to it, which makes me think it's some sort of unique monster. It's got a crown, and probably is a lot stronger than any other level 13 monster. Considering the fact we're only level 10, we're gonna give it a wide berth, and then unfortunately all the monsters down here look to be in the level 19 to 25 range, which is certainly a bit above where we're at, so we're gonna have to be careful. Here's FN Site 114. Let's get in, get our probe placed, and get out. Here we go. Field action successful. Recon for nearby segments has been unlocked. And then let's make sure that this is the correct type of probe. No, this is a basic probe, so we need to activate it to a mining probe. Alright, perfect. Now, there should just be one more area for us to go to, and it is even further north. Alright. Gonna figure out how we're gonna get past all these monsters. Luckily, a lot of them won't attack us on sight, so we just need to avoid the ones that do. It's also the beauty of open world games, is obviously there's no sort of, you know, clear zones delineating levels of where you shouldn't or shouldn't go. So sometimes you're just sort of flirting with danger and high-level enemies, and honestly, it's kind of exciting. What's most exciting is the fact that we finally get free reign to explore this wide open world. And while we may have to give some monsters a wide berth, I'm hopeful that we'll be able to fight a few as well. What we won't be fighting right now is that giant dinosaur thing up there. I have a feeling we're going to be leaving that thing well enough alone. Although, unfortunately, the probe location does appear to be pretty close to its butt, so that might be bad for us. We'll find out. The levels vary drastically. We've got level 8 and 10 enemies here now, and level 9, much more comfortable around these guys. So I think we're alright. Honestly, while we're out here, why don't we do a little bit more battling? Let's fight these brass femina suids, because, you know, that's a really easy name that rolls off the tongue. Let's give them a go.
Lay down some fire for me.
Gotta work on our teamwork and our new suite of companions, and the only way we can get comfortable with each other is if we practice. So that's what I'm trying to do here.
Now topple it. Repair.
There we go. Big Piggy is down. Alright, and here's our next probe location. It's FN Site 112. Sayram Northeast Plain. And FN Site 112. Alright, let's install that probe. Recon for nearby segments has been unlocked, and now we just need to change out that probe. So we swap it to a mining probe. I wonder if we do mining probe G2 if it's still the same. I assume this is the same type of probe, just one level up. So let's give that a try. There we go. So that should be all the probes set, I think. Although I have a feeling the probe professional learn about FrontierNav from Christy. We should be done, right? Maybe it has to be a mining G1 probe and not a mining G2 probe. It's gotta be. I feel like something should have happened there to say, like, yeah, you did it. And maybe because it's the G2 that made a difference. Let's swap to G1. Unfortunately, we wasted a little money making these swaps, but hey. That's what you gotta do to learn. Yeah, there we go. Okay, we got the 3 chain. Yeah. So, you know, sometimes you stumble and fall before you learn, and that's the beauty of a blind playthrough. We're figuring it out as we go. So, since each of these is now a mining G1 probe, they've turned into a 3 chain combo. Very cool. Alright, so now we're done, and we can go back and talk to Christy. Excellent. So, I suppose we can save ourselves a little bit of time if we just fast travel back there. We'll check in with Christy, make sure we did everything correctly, and see if she's got a reward for us. Hey, Christy, I think I did it.
Did you actually?
The probes are installed and set up as mining probes. Perfect. You work fast. I'm sure that's part of what Nagi sees in you. It was a walk in the park, Christy. She's so cool. I want her to think I'm cool too. Alright there, rookie. Don't go getting a big head. This stuff should be easy. Try setting your comm device's display to FrontierNav mode. You should see 3 sites circled in red and connected by link lines. That's a 3-site link combo. It boosts the effects of each of those data probes by 30%. If you get that link combo up to 5 neighboring sites with the same data probe typeset, the effects will be amplified by 50%, and an 8 probe link combo will net you an extra 80%. You see where this is going? The more data probes of the same type you install in neighboring placement sites, the more efficient FrontierNav and your related assignments will be. So, think you've got the hang of all this chaining data probes jazz? I think so, yeah, I think I've got the hang of it. Swift pupils make teaching a pleasure. Well then, I'd say that concludes your first assignment. You can have this research probe by way of reward. Don't say I never gave you anything. I'll teach you about that one next, okay? We'll start the same way. I'll point you to a new FrontierNav probe site, and you'll go install a probe. Then you'll use your comm device to change its type to a research probe. Then, on top of that, I want you to go find an unexplored territory known as the Rock Cavern. Ooh, now you're talking, Kirsty. As fun as it is to place probes, exploring unknown territory? That's where I shine. I bet there's lots of loot in there. Alright, so we're learning now about data probe link combos. Setting up data probes of the same type and grade in a row of chain sites will create a chain combo, increasing the probe's performance. And I guess it goes up to an 80% increase. So our quest isn't actually done yet. We've got a part 2 to our quest. And let's see where it is that Christy wants us to go. It's not going to show us on the Frontier map nav screen. I think we're going to have to go onto this screen. Yes, so she wants us to go to West Janpath Plain. Luckily, we've already unlocked the fast travel point here at Janpath Lake, so we can fast travel to cut down on our travel time, and that'll get us closer. Alright, here we are. This place is absolutely beautiful, and there's someone over here named Alex. Alex, what are you doing? Also, what is that? I can't come talk to you, Alex. There is a real big scary monster next to you, and for some reason, you're not scared. Oh my god, there's another one. Were these monsters here before? They're everywhere. Okay, we've got to be careful. Luckily, we are very close to our objective. We're only 300 meters away. Let's go plant our next probe. This world is so beautiful. It's colorful, and I'm very impressed by the performance of the game so far. I really shouldn't be, because I feel like Monolith Soft has really cemented itself as a top-tier developer at this point, that we expect this sort of quality from them. But I just need to make it known that this game runs beautifully on the Nintendo Switch. There is no slowdown. Things are running smoothly. And here's FN Site 117, surrounded by monsters who luckily aren't too interested in us, so we can install this probe. Boom! Probe installed. Recon for nearby segments has been unlocked. We'll switch to the FrontierNav view, swap the data probe for a research probe. This actually generates revenue from FrontierNav sites and from locally discovered unexplored territories and scenic viewpoints, also known as sightseeing spots, which increases income by 2,000 credits each. Wow, so this is a money-making probe. Noted. There it is. So, it doesn't get a link combo with these 3, but then if we do other research probes, I guess we can create another combo. Alright, so the next thing we need to do is go to that unexplored area, which looks to be further to the north, about 900 meters away. So let's keep moving. This was a great first quest to take on. I feel like it's going to be important for us to understand this whole probe system. And Christy has just given us a fantastic opportunity to explore. One thing I really love about this game is how high your character can jump. I guess gravity isn't as strong on Mira as it is on Earth, because you can get some major hops and it is very fun. Alright, we're coming underneath this giant rock structure, which is just so cool. We've got flying monsters over there. We've got tyrant info. My little brother went to the silent mire and barely escaped alive. He said there's no sun and it's crawling with adseciulas even during the day. I don't know who told us that, but great. Sounds like we're heading into a fun area. Oh, it is real dark down there. Bro is right. Okay. There is only a little bit of sunlight getting down through the large rock formation up above, and it's leading to a lot of really big, gross-looking monsters. Now the issue is, how is fall damage in this game? I guess you know what? There's only one thing to do. We're just gonna find out the hard way, right? Some games have a lot of fall damage, you can't really jump off things. Other games have none. Let's see how much fall damage Xenoblade Chronicles X has. Whoa! And it has none! Okay, honestly, in a big open world such as this, I'm all for it. No fall damage. Jump where you want. This is fantastic. I don't know why there are a lot of just random people out standing next to giant monsters and they don't care. You can see Pyra over there is standing next to these disgusting spider bug things, and she's just chilling. And as much as I would love to go and say hi to her, I also don't want to get anywhere near her. So let's keep moving. This is the Silent Mire, a new landmark we have discovered. And it looks like the cave should be just over here. I love how this cave was supposedly unexplored, but somehow Christy knew the exact area with which to mark it on my map. Makes me think it might have been explored. Anywho, alien wreckage right here. We can get some treasure from that. Cool. Aha! Oh, there is someone here. Yeah, I don't know if I believe the whole unexplored part. What are you doing here, Alex? You look so calm, cool, and collected for being in the middle of nowhere. Hey! This blade operative is standing by for orders. Oh. Sorry, Alex, I don't really want you right now, but good to know. If I need some help, you're around. Alright, this is the rock cavern, and just taking 2 steps in here caused everybody to level up, so that's pretty good. Now, unfortunately for us, I don't think we're going to be able to explore much further in here, because as you can no doubt see, all of the monsters are of an extremely high level. They're all about level 30, so we're going to have to come back to the rock cavern another time. But hey, taking 2 steps in was enough to get us all those level ups, so I'll take it. Now, does this go out the way we came? Nope, this is blocked in. So I guess this is considered a sightseeing spot, which if you find a sightseeing spot that's in the same area as one of those research probes, you'll make more money, if I understood the description correctly earlier. So I guess that's what Christy was trying to tell us here by telling us to go explore this cave. Alright, speaking of Christy, let's go report back in. So we can zoom right in on the map here and fast travel back to Memiosum Maintenance Center. Alright, Christy. We did it! Welcome back, Tallara. The rock cavern looks like a pretty mystical place. Folks here in town were all blown away by it. Huh, you seem curious how they could have seen it without leaving New LA. Well, by accessing the research probe you installed, they can view the data it's amassed. For the civilians living here, that's their only way of learning about the outside world. The probes you're installing aren't just a way to track down parts of the white whale's life hold. Sure, they serve as a source of hope for the future, but they're also helping people today. I hope that underscores just how important your work is. Make sense? Yeah, absolutely. I like the fire in your eyes. Oh, and you'll also receive sightseeing profits if a lot of people access your research probes. New blades need all sorts of equipment, and a little extra income never hurts. Discovering unexplored territories like the rock cavern will get lots of people to access your research probes, so keep an eye out for them. What else am I forgetting? As you install more probes, moranium mining should also pick up steam. You may eventually reach the limit of how much moranium you can hold. In that case, setting special data probes known as storage probes can help. They'll raise the limit of how much moranium you can store. Let me give you one now, as thanks for showing me that unexplored territory I wouldn't have otherwise seen. Mission complete, the Probe Professional. We learned about link combos and research probes. Just remember that like any data probe, simply carrying around that storage probe won't do you any good. You'll need to put it into actual use, so access your comm device at a FrontierNav probe site to change the installed probe to a storage probe. Whew, that should cover the basics. When more FrontierNav assignments come across my desk, I'll be sure to send them your way. Each one spreads our routes into Mira that much further. Alright, now let's learn about precious resources. Precious resources are rare crystals and minerals that are automatically harvested from FN probe sites, often crucial for creating gear and completing missions. Moranium is a versatile ore harvested automatically from FN sites. You'll need it to create gear and complete missions, but you can also invest it in AMs, use it to refuel your skells, etc. Installing storage probes at FN sites can help you by raising the maximum amount of moranium you can store at one time. Alright, we are learning so much. And we also explored more of the administration district. So apparently, by exploring, you get a bunch of rewards. We're now at 6.25% for the administrative district, which means we got rewarded with an energy clip. Very cool, man. This game is just so complex. There is so much to wrap your mind around. So many systems to understand and mechanics to figure out, and obviously places to explore. It's kind of exciting, but it's also kind of overwhelming at the same time. A strange mixture. So if you open your map, I see now up in the top right corner, it tells us about our survey rate. So the survey rate for the administrative district is 6.25%. The survey rate for all of Mira is 1%. And if I remember correctly, we needed to get that up to 15% until we can move to Chapter 4. I feel like the best way to do that is to just go outside and run around. There's a bunch more places we can plant probes, and then obviously lots of stuff we can do around here. There's missions, there's recon stuff, collectibles, treasure. So how about we just head out and start running around? Before we do that, I was thinking maybe we stop by and see Eleonora again at the Mission Control Center, because it looked like a lot of these missions, I didn't really figure this one out. I'm just going to abandon that mission. Looks like a lot of these, the difficulty is just 1 green, which presumably means it's good for us. And there's sort of a mixed bag. There's hunting missions, there's gathering missions. So if we're going out and running around the world, it probably makes sense to have these missions so we can complete them and get experience and rewards while we're out there. So let's just go through and honestly pick all of them up. We've got Archibald the Revolutionary. That is a tyrant who's giving the Harriers a hard time. So let's see if we can hunt him down. This guy wants a Suede fillet ASAP because his customers demand steak. This person needs crush rings. This person needs Sanilac pearls. We've got the Sakuraba Industries has requested that we acquire some weapon data. We need to defeat brass Suedes. As you can see, there's a whole bunch of stuff here. So I'm literally just gonna pick them all up. And then what we can do from there... Okay, the ones up here are getting to be quite a high level, actually. So we'll abandon those. This one's level 17. 22, 15... Yeah, okay. So we picked up a ton. We'll pick up a few more that are in our required level range. And then let's just go explore. Alright, so this area might look familiar. This is the Sea-Swept Ridge, which is where we attacked the Prone, aka the angry alien life forms, on our last episode. When I was looking at the map, it looked like there was a probe area around here, so I figured we may as well come check it out. There's also some of our bounty targets around. You can see these gross, disgusting spider things right here are some of our bounty targets. These are the tree Skirpos. So what I'm going to do is take some of them out.
Make 'em count. Engaging. Lay down some fire for me. Early bird. Early bird.
I'm gonna use all my buffs to start us out. This thing's level 11, so it is a little bit of a higher level monster, but shouldn't be too high that we can't take it out ourselves. The worst part is a lot of times with these monsters, I can't tell where the front or the back is, so a handy thing that they have in Xenoblade Chronicles X is you'll notice every now and then little exclamation points appear around my abilities. That means that you're in the right position to get their positional buff effects. I recently played through Xenoblade Chronicles, the first numbered game, the definitive edition, again, and I was so happy that they implemented that feature in the game, because again, I've always just sort of had trouble figuring out what's the front and what's the back of a lot of these monsters, so having the game tell me definitively, yep, that's the front, well, it really helps. Alright, we took down one tree Skirpo, and then another one decided to join the battle, which is no big deal. I just hope we don't draw the attention of the ones over there, because those ones are level 37 for some reason. Oh! I guess we drew their attention. I don't even know what just happened there. My entire party just got wiped. That was insane. Okay. Never a dull moment here in Xenoblade Chronicles X, that's for sure. Maybe it was this big fish thing. It must have been. Eutropio, the sea rumble. He must have noticed our battle and wanted to get involved. Well, it's not your battle to be a part of, Eutropio, wherever you went there. I'll take you out someday. Alright, looks like this is where our next probe goes. FN Site 119. Unfortunately for these prones, they're right in my way, so they're gonna have to go down. But luckily for us, they're only level 6. Shouldn't be a big idea. The question's gonna be, what sort of probe should we put down here? We've done 3 mining probes, 1 research probe. I guess we'll have to take a look at what our options are. Alright, down goes 1 prone. I like how the probe sites have not only a giant beam of light to help you identify them, but they've also got this like ambient sound as well. It's helpful to identify them. Alright, prones are down. Now let's install the probe. Prone, probe. We're using a lot of very similar words here. Alright, recon for nearby segments has been unlocked. And then let's see what sort of probe we'll put here. I mean, I suppose it makes sense to put a research probe because then it'll connect to that other research probe that we put nearby. So we may as well... Oh, no, it didn't. Interesting. I figured it would connect here. I guess we need to connect through here first. It's not just which one's nearby, it's which one's actually closest, I suppose. Okay, interesting. So if that's the case, I suppose we should sort of make our way up and around then, go to these 3 probes and come back around to 117, and we should be able to complete a chain. Alright, cool. We've got a plan of attack. Before we go anywhere, though, time to soak in the views. Wow. This is a giant alien world for us to explore, and it is exciting. I love this. Running through this plain at night with the northern lights flickering above us and the moon with all of these huge monsters around is just, it's taking my breath away. I don't know how many times in this series I'm gonna stop and comment about how beautiful things are, but buckle up. Look at this. Like, I just need to stop for a second. Have you seen a more beautiful night sky? This is incredible. Looks like we might have a base camp right over here, which is nice. North Jan Path, BC. There's a bunch of people here we can chat with.
Listen.
If you proceed east and follow the thin path along the cliffs, you'll reach a desolate landmass of swirling sands known as Oblivia. It's full of starving indigents, so be careful. Noted.
Oh, hey!
Take care when exploring the northern coast. If you fall down, the only way back up is through North Point Cove. Or fast travel, you know? I think that's the whole point. We got a named person up here in Nilopsy, but I'm not sure if I can actually jump up to her. I have to do a little platforming here. Nilopsy, I really want to speak to you. Let's see. One, nope. No, oh my god. Come on. Put your legs into it, Tallara. There we go. One, wow. Can I not stand on this green thing, or am I just terrible at platforming? Terrible at platforming. Okay, got it. One, two. Hey, you know what? I didn't want to talk to you anyway. Up here, I see something yellow on my map that is much more interesting to me than speaking to Nilopsy. That is just 2 legs. Alien wreckage. Where is its top half? I don't know. Also, look at that huge monster out there. Let's investigate this. Alright, that actually completes our segment with some treasure. Now, the reason I came over here is because there should be... Whoa! Another probe target somewhere around here. First, we're gonna look at whatever this thing is. Holy moly. I will give you a wide berth. We'll leave you to your life as a giant fish thing. I'm just gonna go find my next probe area, alright? By looking at my map and cross-referencing it with what we can see with our own eyes, I think the next probe spot might be inside this giant rock, which is going to be kind of cool. The issue is going to be, can we actually get inside there, or is it going to be extremely difficult? It all depends on if there's some sort of path that's going to lead us up there. I mean, there's that path, but that doesn't really look like what we need. Do you think, or... I mean, there's probably some sort of tunnel or something. Oh yeah, no, I can see this is like a switchback. It goes up that way. Okay, I think this is the way we need to go. We just need to avoid this level 22 Fennec Fox cutie. Oh, can you get mounts in this game, or pets? Because if so, I know what I want. Alright, let's go up and back. Aha, yes, we can get inside from here, and here's our probe site. FN site 118. Beautiful, that's exactly what I was looking for. We'll get our probe successfully planted here, which unlocks all those surrounding sites. And then, of course, we will change it to a research probe. There we go. And now that one's connected, I see. Gotcha. Yeah, so we do need to sort of get them in order if you want to get them all connected. Alright, our survey rate reward. Apparently we've got 10% of the planet surveyed now, which is exciting, and that means we're getting ever closer to our 15% goal for our next main quest. So we'll head over to the other 2 probe sites that are nearby and plant some probes. Alright, so I did a ton of exploring. It ended up getting our Primordia survey rate up to 16.23%. You can see I've explored a lot of this eastern zone, a little bit of the western zone, and we've got a lot of segments unlocked, but only a few of them complete. All that's to say is we've still got a lot of work to do. Regardless, now that we've got our survey rate up high enough, the other thing I want to do next is go pick up some of these side quests. There's a ton of side quests back in town, and so obviously that's what I want to do next. So we'll fast travel back there. I'm not sure if the side quests are actually required to continue the main story, but I'd certainly like to do them just for my own completion's sake. Obviously, usually side quests give you great rewards, and I mean, I see our girl Kirsty even has some new side quests for us, so I think we'll call it a day here. I hope you enjoyed our exploration-focused episode here in Xenoblade Chronicles X. Obviously, we only saw a minor slice of what this world has to offer. When we come back next day, we'll start to do some of the available side quests, and then we'll continue with Chapter 4. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's episode, and I'll see you guys back here soon as I continue my way through Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition.